Hi there, Terry back again. Hope I find you well. Okay, another day, another video. Welcome. I was watching a stream the other week, a Metalog I believe, and someone mentioned Moonstone comics, and it reminded me of Kolchak the Night Stalker. So I ordered the t-shirt and started writing the script. Kolchak, played by Darren McGavin, started as a TV movie tryout in 1972, simply called The Night Stalker, and then in 73 we had The Night Strangler, which also starred Richard Anderson, Mr. Oscar Goldman from The $6 Million Man. And in 1974 through to 75, we had just one season of 20 episodes. First of all, I'll show you that. Got the sort of like double set of The Night Stalker and The Night Stranglers, or Strangler even. And then, as I said, in 74 through 75, we had just one season of 20 episodes, and then it was cancelled. A shame, really. But this series was the precursor to the X-Files in most people's minds. And for those watching that don't know, Carl Kolchak was a newspaper investigator, and he tended to find the macabre, the absurd, and the straightforward, terrifying stories. But mostly they all came under the umbrella of unbelievable, and usually not being published. He was always skating on thin ice with his editor, Tony Vincenzo, played by actor Simon Oakland. Most episodes you could hear him say, "Carl, please bring me back a story I can actually print." Thing is, there were stories out there that certain people didn't want to see in print, much like stories in the X-Files. Darren McGavin did appear in 2 episodes of the X-Files, playing Agent Arthur Dales. And first it was the episode The Traveller, and then Agua Mala. He would have actually done a third, but unfortunately had a stroke, so was replaced by M. Emmett Walsh. He also appeared as a different character in the X-Files spin-off Millennium. He played the long-estranged father of Frank Black, played by Lance Hendrickson, the main lead in the 3-season series, but he was only in 1 episode. Well, I've shown you the DVD boxes. What about the comics, you're asking? You're not? Oh, okay. Well, you should be. Anyway, Moonstone have done prose books, comics, and graphic novels, and they're usually mainly one-shots. I was of the belief I only had 1 mini-series missing, but while doing the research for this video, I find there may be 1 or 2 others. Due to there being so many reprint books with no real pattern to what stories they reprint and what may be new in each volume, is rather confusing to this poor old person. I have since bought the miniseries, so I hope to get that soon, but I just wish there was a comprehensive list. Let me know in the comments if you know of one. Right, these are in no particular order, as they could be books that came out before in a different form, and we start with this one from March 2013, Kolchak the Night Stalker, and the cover is, The Night Stalker and Dr. Morrow. And the cover is by Valerie Jones, and the writer is Mike Kelly, artist Mark Grammel, and this is black and white inside. Kolchak finds himself surrounded by creepy parts and pieces of science gone wrong. Is this what it means? Is this what it seems like? Could it be reality when it really started as fantasy from the past? Next, a full colour graphic novel called Get of Belial. Get in this instance means offspring, and Belial is a demon. This was published in November 2002, and the cover is by Doug Clauber. It's based on a never-filmed screenplay by Don Mullally. It's adapted by Joe Gentile. Pencils and inks are by Art Nichols, and the colours are by Jeremy Roberts. And while covering a story about striking miners in West Virginia, Kolchak becomes more interested in a series of grisly murders. Another full-colour graphic novel, Fever Pitch, cover by Doug Clauber, released in February 2003, and the writer is Stuart M. Kaminsky. The pencils are by Christopher Jones, inks by Barbara Schultz, and colours by Andre Maitland. This is classed as Moonstone's first all-original Kolchak story. And for 3 nights straight, some poor innocent spontaneously combusts in front of a horrified witness. And like chain links, the previous night witness is the following evening victim. But who's behind these deaths? The Wolfman, an anaconda, a giant spider? According to police reports, these 3 monsters were spotted at the scene. Kolchak, hot with flu, makes a little report of his own that adds up to some life-saving advice. Never turn your back on fear. Then from May 2003, Lambs to the Slaughter. Another cover by Doug Clauber. The page is moving over. And the story by Joe Gentile and Mark Dord-Isaac. Trevor Von Eden with pencils and inks. Colours Ken Wallach and Dawn Grozewski. Kolchak investigates a spree of missing persons in this Tinseltown. Tinseltown led the poor kids astray, right? Is that right? Not with Kolchak investigating. How about a genetic experiments covered up by unknown forces? How about Kolchak unwittingly signing his own death warrant? This and more appear in these 48 pages. This is a trade collection of a 3-issue miniseries that I missed. Sherlock Holmes and Kolchak in Cry of Thunder, published in April 2010. The story, Joe Gentile with an assortment of artists. The blurb says, not a dream, not a hoax, not a parallel universe. 2 of the most unique investigators of all time. I think Batman might have something to say about that, but there you go. But they try to untangle the same mystery 100 years apart from each other. And we have the lawless Wild West, the hidden world of Victorian London, and the present-day hell of Hollywood. There and back again, etc., etc., etc. This next one is a rather large graphic novel, told in wide vision. I will show you what they mean. Wide vision. There you go. Words at the top and the bottom, and all the pictures in the middle. That's sweet. Anyway, this is called, as you see on the cover, The Lovecraftian Horror. It was written by C.J. Henderson, illustrated by Jamie Calderon, and it was published in June 2007. Kolchak has seen it all, from vampires to zombies to witches to ghosts, and even the minions of hell. But when he follows the trail of a strange sea creature, he finds himself drawn into a fantastic nightmare world he may not come out of the other side. Just a brief interlude while I remember. Have you made your nominations for the Comic Book Community Awards? I believe nominations end on the 2nd of August. I will put the relevant links below. Go and nominate your favourite comic YouTube channel. It's a bit of fun and gives the winners a bit of a boost, knowing they are appreciated. Even when you're just nominated, it makes you feel good. So give it a go. Right, back to the books. Now we have a much smaller graphic novel, still told in wide vision though. This one, The Lovecraftian Damnation, and it's by Doug Clauber, the cover that is. And it's written again by C.J. Henderson. It's illustrated by Robert Hack, and the colours are by Evan Shaver. Called to the office of Marvin Richards, host of the popular cable news show Challenge of the Unknown, Kolchak finds the man in a state of terror. Cole came to the aid of the newsman once before, when Richards and his team had been tricked into buying the ancient book, the Necronomicon. They managed to destroy it, or so they thought. Horror is about to raise its ugly head once again. The next one, published in 2022 to celebrate Kolchak's 50th anniversary. It contains 3 stories. The Funny Place by David Avalon, art by Julius Otter and Zach Atkinson. And then we have The Package by Steve Niles and art by Seaman Kruransky. And the cover story, Satanic Panic 88, is written by James Aquilone and the art is by Colton Worley. And James Aquilone also was the editor for the book, editor for the book even. And as you can see, he signed it. So we have the cover art this time by Dan Brereton. And the back cover is by Jerry Ordway and Zach Atkinson. I think this was the main cover of the big 50th anniversary book, which I haven't got. I did order, but it got lost in the post. Right. Now, between 2003 and 2005, there was an ongoing series that lasted 7 issues. Number 1, November 2003, and it was called Shady Places. It was written by Dave Lulansky and the cover by Monty Moore. Pencils Chris Marinan and the inks by Keith Williams. And it was coloured by Ken Wallach and Dawn Grozensky. This one has a human plant monster, a chemical plant, and Kolchak. So what else do you need? Let me have number 2 in 2004. And this was called Kiri. It's by the same creative team as number 1. This one we have senility being associated with communicating with higher level house pets. A collective community consciousness. And all living things have because of ancient man's contact with space aliens. And that's just for starters. Then we have number 3 from 2004. All the same creators as number 1 and 2, except Ron Friends with the pencils. The title this time, The Creatures of Habit, with 2 B's. In this one we have Bigfoot. Is he friend or foe? And straight out of Gremlins we have Gizmo's mates. You know, after he gets wet. Then number 4 from August 2004. Patolith with the pencils this time. And this being cover B, it's by David Ulansky and Ken Wallach. Do you know the urban legend of Bloody Mary? Not the drink. You know, hold a candle up to a mirror and chant Bloody Mary 3 times. A haunted visage will appear. Go on, give it a try. They give it a go in this story. And 5 from February 2005. A 2-part story, and it continues in number 6. This cover is by Harry Rowland. Pencils Kirk Jarvinen. Proximity Part 1. This one has haunted houses, rising from the grave, mummies, and of course tombs. Not the tombs from X-Files. And then number 6, April 2005, Part 2 of Proximity. All creators as number 5. And we have no haunted house this time, but mummies, tombs and pyramids do make an appearance, along with poor Cole not being believed yet again. And then we have number 7, The Sagoth. All creators as number 6, apart from the cover artist, which was David Dorman this time. The Sagoth is a swamp thing-like creature who doesn't seem to like many people. But does it really exist? Next one is one of the told you ones. I bought this believing it was the next large graphic novel called Terror Within. But it turns out it's a trade combined of these last 3 I'm going to show you. Firstly, we have Devil in the Details. Published in August 2003. It's a graphic novel written by X-Files scribe Stefan Petrusha. Pencil and inks by Trevor Von Eden, and the colours are by Ken Wallach and Dawn Grozewski. And the cover is by Doug Klauber. On the surface, this looks like an open and shut case of embezzlement, as Chester Friedson takes off with his company's loot, while his brother and business partner, Barry, lies dying in a hospital bed. Soon other members of the family begin to vanish, and Barry's disease goes into an impossible remission as Kolchak tumbles into a high-tech horror story. Right, published in January 2004, Pain Most Human, and the cover is by Doug Klober. It's written by C.J. Henderson, and we have quite a few artists this time. Greg Scott, Terry Pallett, John Staitmer, David Ulansky, and Andre Maitland. It seems an Air Force base in upstate New York engaged in a little cover-up. So our man Kolchak hightails it across country using his singular reporting skills and annoying interpersonal skills. He gets all the answers all right. Too bad these answers may send him straight to an insane asylum. Right, then lastly this time, we have another graphic novel published in August 2004. This is Pain Without Tears. The cover is by Dennis Calero along with the internal art, and the story is by C.J. Henderson. And then they killed me. Kolchak finds himself on death's door in defense of a beautiful woman with strange powers. Rekindling a part of him he thought extinguished, she haunts every thought his mind can hold. What is her secret, and why are so many willing to kill to control it? And how will Carl survive the twin bullets shot to his body and soul? Well, there we have it for this time. I have this bundle plus the mini-series when it arrives to show. So, another of my infamous will he or won't he part 2s. Let me know in the comments. Is it wanted? Please thumbs up and subscribe if you wish. Remember to nominate your favourites if that's your thing. And I will be back with another one soon. Thanks for watching. Bye.